Yo, what's up? It's Jay Hardway. I'm at the Cruise Control Studios in Amsterdam, and today I'm gonna show you how I made Wake Up. Normally I work at home, but sometimes I like to come here to check it on a different set of speakers and to work on my mix a little bit. And we have more room for filming everything here. So let's get started straight away. I'm gonna show you how I made Wake Up. And I'm going to show you what is in the track, and I'm going to explain some of the mixing and I do and stuff. So I hope you will enjoy it, and I hope you will find it very helpful. I'm going to show you first how it all got started. 2 years ago I made this melody, like you know from the break. This is the bass, the basis of the whole track, and it starts with this preset from Vandalism Sounds from it's called Castle, and it sounds already like this without any effects. Just put a filter on so it sounds like this. That's it. That's the first thing I did, and then about a year ago I started working with vocal chops on tracks, and I just wanted to. I'm just always experimenting with tracks, and then I decided to try it out here. I still had a vocal from a remix I did called "I Feed You My Love" from Margaret Berger, and with Fruity Loops there's this plugin called Fruity Slicer, and you can chop up your vocal into really little parts, and yeah, you can make a melody with it because you can also pitch every note. So I have this, and I can make it like this, lower, higher, everything. So then I made the vocal on top of the melody. It sounds a bit different than what the version you know now as Wake Up. So I'm gonna go to the final project, and I'm gonna show you how I explain it there. I made it in Fruity Loops 11, and it looks like this, just for you to see. That's the whole project, and I changed the vocal into this. And you hear a scratchy effect here, like this. It sounds like it's scratching or reversing, but what it is, in Fruity Loop right here at MISC, you can turn on Porta and select how much you want the note to sound, to slide to the next note. So if I press this one and then press another one, you hear it go from the first note I pressed before that to the next note. And with this vocal it gives a really nice scratchy effect. So I really like that, and I decided to keep that in. I'm going to show you what's on this vocal. I'm going to take everything off. Sounds really dry right now. I add a compressor. I don't know really technical how a compressor works, but what I did is I turned the gain up a little bit, and this will make it stay on top of your whole mix, which is, with this vocal I really want it to be on top, and I really want you to hear that clearly. I put a reverb on it. Just a basic Fruity Loops reverb, and then you can play around with the wet, the decay and everything. Some EQing. As you can see, I turned up the highs a little. Delay. And with the delay, I turned down the cutoff a little bit, so it doesn't sound like this. So the part that is delayed is cut off. I turn on ping pong so it goes like the whole left and right, and that's the vocal, and then a little clap which I cut from this loop, and then you get so that's the whole thing. These are three things which make that whole part, and then I start building. So I add some elements. The first one is a bass line. It's from Synthmaster 2, which I really love this plugin. I just discovered it a couple months ago, and I'm really happy with it. And it plays the bass notes of the melody. And well, that's coming underneath, so it fills it up a bit more. And another one is a Nexus guitar, which plays the chords as well, and it plays the same chords. And I'm going to show you what's on there. I'm going to take everything off again, like this. And then I add some reverb. Very important is I cut off the lows with this EQ, and I use the stereo enhancer from Fruity with the preset for strings, and this makes it sound stereo and not mono, which means basically you take the sound not in the middle, but you turn it to the sides of the speakers, so it fills up the entire spectrum, and a filter to, as you can hear, and you can automate this filter with an automation clip, and it will build up, so the filter will slowly get bigger. So that's the first part of the break. For me, this was the part which I had, like the first thing that I had, and was like, yeah, this sounds really cool, and I want to finish it. And then there's the main melody of Wake Up. And if I take, delete this one, I'm gonna show you what's in there because it's a lot of layers. So let's start. As you can see, this is the melody. For you people who want to make a remake, take a screenshot now. Layer 1. It sounds really strange if you hear it like this. It's a massive lead, and this is on there. I use gross beats sometimes for sidechaining, and sometimes I use kickstarts of Nicky Romero. And I'm not using the dot overdrive. I'm just going to take everything off again. So you have the sidechain, fast dist, which is a distortion plugin, EQing like this and like this, so the lows are cut off. Reverb, it's the other reverb from Fruity. It's the basic reverb, and you have reverb too. A filter, I use it later in the project, and a tape stop, which I use for a breakdown effect, although I don't think I use it on the lead, but it's still on there. I probably tried some stuff out before. Let me just turn off the other ones, and let me show you what leads will be added. So first we have this one. The clap is still underneath. Then the second one. You can see I didn't really do a proper side chaining because I wanted to keep the tick on the one for the attack. It's a Spire. I use that one too for leads and layering and stuff. So this is all on there, and there's even more on there, but I'll show you later. So let's go. There's a filter which I use, a reverb, EQing like this, like get a bit of high and a little bit of mid-low out. Kickstart for the sidechain, Kickstart by Nick Romero, a really nice plugin. Some more EQing, and some more EQing. Like, you can do a lot of things in one EQ bar, but I like when I like if I delete this one, this EQ, and I think, oh, it sounds good now, but I want to change some EQing, I sometimes just add another EQ because I don't want to mess up the old one, and I just want to use a new one. And the channel is linked to this channel. You can do that by right click, route to this track only, and then you basically make a link to this track, so the output comes through this track only. So if I turn it off, and there's on a compressor some more EQing, a filter which I use also later in the track, EQ to take out the lows, and this one, Trans X Wide Stereo, which I use for some more attack on the it gives you more punch, more attack, some reverb and some more reverb. So there's a lot of effects on there. It's really chaotic because that's how I work. And so I don't know if I probably can work more not chaotic, but I just work like, well, I just go and go. So then the third one, it's on the same channel as the one I just showed you before, so the same effects. The fourth one is this one. It's silent. Also uses two channels. Distortion is on there. EQing is on there. I'm just gonna go through it real quick. Kickstart for sidechaining. EQing, filtering, and the stereo enhancer again to spread it to the sides. This one. And it's linked to a little bit more EQ to take out the lows. So it's beginning to sound more and more like Wake Up. I think this was one of the first versions I had when I like what I used for the drop, like this, four leads, and then when I play it out, when I listen to it more and more, I think like it needs more of this, it needs more of that, so I start adding and adding lead. It's just I think it's it's just in it. It's like the basic preset of it's a basic preset of silent, and I tweaked it. Like, I can turn on the white noise here, and you can select other things, but I use a white noise, tweak it, EQ it like this to really get the attack punch. Like, this really helps with the attack. So I add that one. Is it this? Yes. So I turn that one on. Then there's this one. There's a lot of layers. Yeah. What's on there? This is not turned on. There's a sound goodizer on there, a little bit, just to make it sound nicer. There's a gross beat for sidechain. Like I said, sometimes I use gross beat, sometimes kickstart, reverb, and EQing. So we add that one. It's starting to sound more and more. And like for me, like it's hard to hear if I show it like this, but when I'm working on it, you can hear more and more what you want it to sound like, and like this sound. It doesn't mean a lot, but it adds that little edge which I was looking for, and that's what makes it more unique and more like this kind of sound. Then there's more. And what's on there is a kickstart for sidechain, EQing, because I really wanted some more mid to fill it up. So once you start being better at mixing and start working more on tracks, you realize you start hearing every little thing in the mix, and especially when you work on it yourself. And this one, just to add a little bit more highs with some EQing. Also Nexus, so turn that on. We're almost there, this one is really important. It's really overwhelming in the whole sound, but it gives that really like big room, like boom in your face kind of effect. Kickstart for the, take everything off. Turn on the sidechain and the EQing. So with every EQ and every effect I turn on, you can hear slight differences, and those differences are just me thinking, oh, it needs to sound more like this, and I'm just adding EQs, I'm adding effects. I'm not really thinking about the technical aspect. I'm just, this is how I work. Like I want it to sound like this, so I changed it like that. And you get the whole lead actually. As you can see, I sidechained most of the leads. I use this clap to get like to get a nice, to get it rolling, to get it further, and yeah, that's basically the lead synth that I also use in the drop. I add 2 more leads there, but I'm gonna come back to you later on that one. Let me tell you what else is in this. Let's go, because there's also like the mid and bass layer which roll along here. The first lead of the whole break is in there, because that's like kind of also a signature sound of the break. Only I took away the low bass notes. So normally I have this one playing. Oh no, it's the wrong one. These are the chords playing, which I also use in the break. They are added. This is the one I was looking for. As you can hear, it's I took out the lows now. I did it with this automation. You can. I did that only there because in the first part of the break it needs the lows, but here the bass is taken over the lows, and I really want the bass to stand out. And I'm forgetting the bass. I don't know where I left it. Is it here? No. Oh yes, it is. Oh, here we go. It's a bass from Synthmaster 2. Let's just take a look at the bass only. It has side chaining on it with kickstart, some EQ to get out the really lows right there, and some more EQ like this, and the tape stop, which is really important in this track. As you can listen, this is where I automate it. You can hear it go to go down. That's what I do with the tape stop. You get this almost like it's a vinyl record stopping, and so it gets a really nice effect. And all that together, you have some effects. You have the break. So that's the whole break of Wake Up, and in the next part I'm going to show you how I make the drop. So now we're going to talk about the drop of Wake Up. The most important part, well, not really the most important part, but the part you really want to make it sound good, because you want people to jump, you want people to think, wow, this is big. Yeah, I'm going to show you how I build it up from where I start with. Turn a lot of stuff off. I start with the kick. This is the kick I use. Let me check if that is all, because sometimes I have some other layer on it. No, that's the kick. It came with a preset pack, and I really like the sound, and what I did is a little bit of EQing. Oh no, I didn't do any EQing. This is just for the intro. Like when this is turned on, you can hear the lows taken out, and like you can hear it in the intro. There's not like the full bass yet, so, but then in the drop there is. That's the first part. What I did then was I added a bass line. Let me search the bass line. My project is a bit of a mess, so yeah. That's the bass. That's not the bass. This is the bass. Right here. Synth master, as I used as well, also in the break. So there's sidechain on it. This is just a preset from Nicky Romero. Some EQing, because I want the kick to have the kick needs to be the lowest for me, and that needs to be the punch. So I take out some of the like really lows, so you can still hear. It's a low bass note, but it doesn't play the part you don't really need. So thanks Laidback Luke for the tip on your forum. And some more EQing. Yeah, it does take out a bit of the mid and a little bit of the low here as well. And some tape stop, as I used before as well, to make the final slow down effect. So you get this. Looks like this. So that's it. As you can see, it's kind of a bouncy rhythm. Dun, 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 dun. It makes it like more bouncier than if you add just straight lines. So and then I added, and that's kind of the secret of this drop of this track. I added sub kicks to this bass line. I'm gonna show you how that sounds. If you hear it like this, it sounds really weird, but. And how I did that was I take this sub kick and put on sidechain like this, so you can hear the sidechain. That's what I put on there, and I have different samples from different kicks. So this is higher, and it plays also the same bass notes. As you can see here, when I zoom in, the first part is still the original kick, and the second part I took away. The sidechain already takes this part away, but I wanted to be sure it doesn't interfere with this punchy part of the kick. Oh wait, I see now this top kick. This is what I added as well, and I used some EQ there to a little bit on top, so you get like the. If you take this off, yeah, I don't know if you can hear the difference, but for me it has that little bit of extra tick on the kick. So together with the bass line, you get this. Where are you? And well, basically I then started adding all the elements I also used in the break. So all this, and that's not turned on. It should be. Synth master with sound goodizer from Fruity Loops standard, kickstart for the sidechain, a stereo shaper. I think this is preset Stereoize 3 or one of these. I told you about the stereo enhancer, and this actually does the same thing in a slightly different way, and it sounds different, so I use sometimes this one, sometimes the other one. Reverb, just the default preset of Fruity Loops. Some EQing because it was really crispy, I took out the highs and a little bit of the lows. Tape stop because it also breaks down the same time as the bass. And that's it. So you get this. Then I add this one. It's the original break sound. Again with the EQ low. The lows are out, so it's like. And then I start adding all the leads, like I showed you in the break. There are 2 leads more. That's this one. It's a synth master, and just to give it that extra, just make it sound a little bit bigger than the break sound. Some EQ, I take out the highs. I use a stereo shaper to have this sound stereo again. Filter for later. Some reverb and a kickstart for the sidechain. You see, sometimes I use a preset like a short sidechain, sometimes long. It depends on the note I'm using, on the kind of synth. And it depends how it interferes with the kick. So you just gotta listen to it and make sure it sounds good at all times. And I use this crispy little synth master again for just adding a little bit to the high, and yeah, it's on the same channel. So basically that's what I add to all the other layers. So we're gonna go and turn them all on. Play it for you. So you can hear once I start adding, it started to sound different, and the way I work is I put a lot of shit into each other, so it kind of merges together. Also because my master, I will show you what's on there later, and it makes it sound like more and more different, and the more I add, the more different it sounds, and yeah, I'm just basically adding until it sounds good. As you can hear, really important, like one sound. If I delete only one sound, so you can can really tell every sound is doing its job, and so yeah, that's actually the drop. It's the same leads plus 2 extra as in the break, and the kick and bass and the sock kicks are like what is my secret. Is my secret in this drop. The second part of the drop, there's this synth extra to have a little bit of change. So next is guitar with EQ on it, stereo shaper, kickstart for the sidechain, more EQing, reverb, and even more EQing. So yeah, I'm just, like I said, piling up EQs until I think it sounds good, and it needs to fit into the mix, so you need to hear it still, and it needs to still stand out. And it's kind of a counter melody against all the leads, so and I also add percussion. Just turn this off again. There you go. It's like, take it from took this hi-hat from this loop, as you can hear, and this drop loop, and it makes it bouncy and like a nice variation on the whole drop. So yeah, you get. There's also, by the way, a clap which I added onto the kick. It comes in here. So it gives the kick even more like punch. Yeah, so that's the whole drop. All these elements, as you can see, and yeah, that's how I finished it actually. So. You see a lot of effects and swoosh, this, that. I'm gonna come back to you on that a little bit later. I'm gonna show you first how I made a little variation on the second break, because you hear it's like this. This is a really nice sound from Synth Master again. You can see I use silent a lot, I use Synth Master a lot, Massive sometimes, Spire sometimes, but I really love Synth Master right now. Yeah, that's like it's a preset. It's like without anything. Already sounds really good and really full and big. So I add some EQ delay. Sorry. A little bit of EQing, and this really gives it a dreamy sound, like a really kind of resting moment as you get from the big drop. And that's on top of this, which I really like this sound. I'll show you how I made it, because it's really fun. This is how it sounds. What I did was distortion, makes it really sound heavy. So I take out the lows with this EQ, and then I filter it in. As you can hear in the break, it's like, also use, that's a low pass filter, but I also use a high pass filter, because that's where it's coming back from. Like if I don't use the low pass, but it sounds really crispy and it's almost hurting your ears, so it's like I use both. I use a low pass, and if you automate them with these automation clips, you can turn them both together, and it sounds really nice. And then I think one of the most important things on this one is the grow speed, which I sometimes use for sidechaining, because with these orange lines you can just draw the volume. It's like a sort of volume control. There's a preset here, it's called 1/4 bit gate, and it basically chops up your sound, and with this volume knob you can into the original break, and yeah, that's where it's going back. It's like the same part as the first break, so the build up is the same, and yeah, basically. By the way, I use this. I use it again at the outro, right? So that's where I use it again, and that's the second break. It's just a little variation of the first break, and but it gives you nice, like after a big drop and you're on a festival, it's like, oh, you can let the people calm down a bit, and it just gives a nice atmosphere to it. So yeah, that's actually basically the track. So it's the melodies, yeah, that's it actually. I'm gonna now show you how to finish a track, because if you have all these elements, if you have a nice drop, you still need to make sure the parts flow nicely into each other, and yeah, I'm just gonna show you some of the effects I use, and how I made the intro. So these sweeps, as you can hear, it's a really nice one, and with that you can, I use it a lot. You can see it here, 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 and you really build up to like a that's one of it. Then there's this impact. As you can see, I took out the lows because it's also on the drop right here. And you really you don't need the lows, so I just only want that high, like clappy kind of sound. By the way, these sounds are just like a collection of me. I get stuff from other producers, I find stuff myself, I make stuff myself, and you build up sounds you like, and you build up effects you like, and like some of my databases, like all kinds of personal, it's like a personal database of that. So that's what I use, and there's, which I really like, I'm going to show you right here. You can hear that when it's building up to the first time you hear the melody. It sounds sounds like the note reversed, and I also do the same here in the break with the vocal. It's like right here. And that really gives a nice build-up sound. I use it a lot, and I'm gonna show you how I made it really fast. Let me just take the vocal right here, insert a new block. Okay, where are you? I lost it. Oh, here we are, I think. No. Well. Okay, what I do is, I lost where I put it here. I take the first note, and, where is my playlist? And what I do, that's the first note, only the first note, and I select 8 bars, and then I put on this channel of the vocal a lot of reverb, like this. It's a really easy trick like this, but it really gives a nice effect. And then I have this selection made. I go to save as, let me just wave file, wave file, yep, save. Okay, and it's now on my desktop. I cannot show you my full desktop because there's secret projects on there with secret people. So I'm just gonna drag this into the playlist, and as you can see, remember to take the reverb off again. And you have this, and if I click on it and reverse it, it sounds like this. So that's where I build up a lot of energy into these kinds of changes. So that's what I do to fill up and make changes from the one to the other one. And in the drop, what I also do is EQing. Like as you can see here, these are part of the leads, and they, like as you can hear here, you can hear it go a bit down as a filter because I really want it to be totally quiet for that part. So I use filtering on the leads also here at the end. So yeah, that's how you can change into different sections of your song. The intro, I kept it quite simple. This is a sound from a sample bank, and I have some reverb on it, and the filter set filters in. Here I add a bass line. It's the same one I use in the break as well when it's building up. So you can hear this really gives a lot of energy, and at the end I turn up the reverb. So you can hear it, you can still hear it now, it's like flowing through. This is like a little shaker loop I made sometimes. It's in the which I also use in the break. I made it myself. It's just a couple of samples, shaking, and then I bounced that as a whole new thing. A little hi-hat coming, a little, it sounds like a and this little percussion thing is from this loop, and then with some delay you can hear it go. That's my intro actually, and I think I got everything you need to know. Yeah, that's basically everything. And then the outro is just the bass line from the drum, synth from the break, and the vocal, like the part of the vocal. What I mostly do in outros is just I break down the track, so it's like there's gonna be less and less in there until you reach like this. And the end is. That's how I finish a track. Like, I don't do that all afterwards. What I do is straight away when I have a melody and a drop ID, I start from the intro and I work my way. So I immediately add effects. I want it to sound the way it should sound at the end. Straight away. So that's also with mixdown. I work on my mixdown as I go. So I do the EQing and the reverb I do straight away, because I want the sound how it should sound in the end. And at the end, what I did with this track, because it like without master. Let's see. I turned on, like halfway when I was working, I turned on the ozone. It's the house basic preset, and then I was halfway the project, so I started working on my mix as well, like with the master on. This fruity balance is just for volume control. What I do, it's a trick. So the master is just ozone actually, and yeah, it's because I mix the way I like it, the way how it should sound. It already sounds good, so the this master plugin is just to keep it below the 0 dB, because when I'm working on it, it's really like boom in the plus, I don't know how much dB, but it's not clipping. And yeah, so it already sounds good, and then I turn that one on, and this fruity balance is for the volume control. Let me see if I have used it or not, because what you can do in a track, it's a really fun trick, you can control the volume with this fader, fruity balance, like create automation clip, and then you can before the drop you can take the melody, the volume a bit down, and then when the drop hits you turn it back up, so the drop really explodes and explodes, and then yeah, that's kind of how I finished it. And I think that's basically everything for Wake Up. And yeah, if you have questions about producing, sometimes when I have time I try to answer them on my Facebook page and my Twitter, and yeah, just feel free to comment. And well, that's how I made Wake Up. I showed you my project, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it was I hope it can help you in your production, or you just had fun watching it. I have a couple of tips that that I want to share with you, and I think are for me crucial. That, as you can see, the whole project is built from one chord progression. It's one melody that started the whole project, and everything, even the rhythm in the drop and the other counter melodies, they are all based on that one melody. So if you have a good melody, this one is maybe 2 years old, keep it in your projects, and yeah, one day you might be able to use it. So that's a tip. That's what I always do with melodies. I always keep them in my project files. Yeah, what's also important is to listen to your mix on different speakers. Play it in your car. Play it at your mobile phone. At your mom's house. Everywhere. Just listen to it because it needs to sound good everywhere. And you just get a different ideas. Like sometimes I'm in my car and I listen to my track and it's like, oh wow, but this low end really needs some more boost. So I don't know, just keep listening to it, and play it live if you're a DJ. Even at small parties, play your track and see what the effect is on the crowd. Because before I was a DJ, I was a producer and I had no clue what to make and how a track should sound. And when I started DJing more and more, I learned like, hey, this is what people like. This is what is more catchy. So you will learn more and more um, by doing it. So you can learn more and more about this is how my track should sound. Final tip, which is for me very important. As you can see, my project is one big chaos. That's how I work. I don't really work all the technical things. I don't know all the technical like EQ. I don't know. I'm not focusing on this much hertz from this frequency needs to cut off. No, I just listen to my track and I know there I need some more low end. There I need some less high end, and I'm just EQing and mixing and mastering as I go. I just listen to it, and that's how I work. And yeah, just remember always there's no rules. You don't need to have this kind of kick or this kind of bass, or just do whatever, because for me, if I start to think too technical, I really block my creativity, and that's really most important. Just have fun and just try out crazy shit, and if it sounds good, it sounds good. So that's what's for me most important.